At the wall. Jon and Sam are standing guard on top of the wall, gazing into the darkness beyond as they wait for the wildling attack to begin. Sam tries to get Jon to talk about what it was like to be with a woman, saying that with death so close, this might be his only chance to know. He points out that the Night's Watch vows only clearly forbid taking wives and having children, suggesting that other actions might be open to personal interpretation. Jon responds sadly that Esser Alisar Thorn probably doesn't care about how they choose to interpret the rules. When Sam pushes Jon further to describe what it was like being with Wygritte, Jon struggles to explain and finally says in frustration that he's not a bleeding poet. Jon offers to take the Night Watch alone so that Sam can go below and rest. As Sam steps into the wooden lift and begins his descent down the wall, an owl lands on top and starts hooting loudly. This owl is actually being controlled by a then warg, a member of the wildling group led by Tormund and Styr, who are camped just outside the southern gate of Castle Black. While at the camp, Tormund brags about having slept with a bear, but Wygritte interrupts him, clearly doubting the truth of his story. She makes it clear that she only cares about shooting as many arrows into the hearts of the Night's Watch members, whom she calls crows, as possible. She speaks angrily about how the people living south of the wall have always used it to keep wildlings out and treat them like enemies. Now, she says, the wildlings have become the hunters and the southerners are the prey. Styr mocks her, saying she talks more about killing than she actually kills. Wygritte quickly defends herself, saying she killed just as many people at Mole's Town as he did, but Styr cruelly reminds her that none of those people was her ex-lover. He then insults her by saying that when she sees Jon Snow again, she'll probably just offer him a piece of ginger minge, which makes Wygritte leap to her feet in fury. She glares at Styr and declares that she wants to be the one to kill Jon Snow. She then warns everyone around the camp that she has an arrow ready for anyone else who dares to try. Meanwhile, just outside the wildlings' camp, a mysterious figure holding something quietly passes by, unnoticed by all. While Sam is quietly reading a book about wildlings, he is discovered by Maester Aemon. Aemon quickly understands that Sam is reading the book out of concern for what might have happened to Gilly if she had been captured by the wildlings during their attack on Mole's Town. Aemon also suspects that Sam's deep concern for Gilly stems from his feelings of love for her, even though Sam tries to deny it. Reflecting on his own past, Aemon speaks about a woman he once loved, saying he can still clearly picture her, and that she feels more real to him than Sam does in that moment. After their conversation, Sam leaves the Maester's chambers and soon hears Gilly's voice at the gate pleading to be let in. This confirms that she survived the massacre at Mole's Town, and that she was the mysterious cloaked figure seen approaching Castle Black. Pypar, who is guarding the gate, refuses to open it, explaining that he isn't allowed to let anyone in under any circumstances. But Sam, filled with urgency and emotion, yells at Pip to open the gate. Pip eventually gives in and allows Gilly to enter. Sam reassures her that wherever she goes next, he will follow. However, their emotional reunion is suddenly interrupted by the sound of 2 blasts from the horn, signaling that Mance Rayder's wildling army has finally launched its attack. Sam immediately rushes to get Gilly to safety inside the castle, while the rest of the Night's Watch brothers begin preparing to defend against the wildling assault. At the top of the wall, Jon hears the horn sounding and looks to the north, where he sees a massive fire blazing in the distance, just as Mance Rayder had warned. Meanwhile, on the southern side of the wall, the owl controlled by the then warg spots the fire as well, and alerts Styr and Tormund that it is time to begin their attack on Castle Black. Jon goes to Esser Alisar Thorn, who finally gives in and admits that they should have listened to Jon earlier and sealed the gates. Thorn reflects bitterly on the burden of leadership, saying that being in charge often means dealing with criticism from every clever little twat with a mouth. He adds that if a leader starts doubting himself, everything falls apart. Accepting the reality of the coming battle, Thorn pulls himself together and starts shouting commands to the archers, getting them ready to shoot at the enemies gathering below. Sam takes Gilly and her baby to a storage room where she can stay hidden. Gilly wants Sam to stay with her, reminding him of the promise he made, but Sam explains that he cannot because he has sworn an oath to defend the wall as a brother of the Night's Watch. Just before he leaves, Gilly pleads with him to promise that he won't die, and in that emotional moment, the two share their first kiss. Later, as Sam and Pypar are getting arrows ready at the southern gate, Pip confesses that he's never been in a real battle before and has never even held a sharp weapon. He asks Sam how he can remain so calm, and Sam admits that he isn't calm at all, He's terrified, especially with thousands of wildlings about to attack. Pip then asks how Sam managed to kill a White Walker despite being afraid. Sam explains that at that time he didn't think, he just acted, because if he hadn't, Gilly would have died and her baby would have been taken. He adds that during that moment, he didn't feel like himself. He felt like he was nothing. And when you feel like nothing, you stop being afraid. But now Sam says he is afraid because he's no longer nothing.